then I would go home and I would push all of my furniture out of the way in my little apartment, and I would memorize everything that she learned that day in rehearsal. So I was always completely up to date. And then came the day of the tap dancing rehearsal. Hannah's laughing. So Ayadela Cassell, our wonderful tap choreographer, she's one of the greatest tap dancers in the world. She's like, all the fannies, come with me. I'm going to teach you your choreography, but don't worry, it's not going to be hard. We might not even put you in tap shoes. And then everybody discovers at the same time that Beanie is an incredible tap dancer. Like, she's actually really good, and she wants to learn all of the choreography that all of the rest of the ensemble is doing. And the other fanny understudy, you know, there's always two, she played Peggy Sawyer in 42nd Street. So I've taken like one tap class in college, you know, and they're all like, you know, and then I'm like videotaping, I'm like, just, oh yeah, I got it, I'm just gonna watch it on slow motion later, like, they're like, you got it? I'm like, oh, I got it, it's fine. But like an hour goes by of this, and I'm realizing like, I can't tell you what they're doing, let alone like do it. And I'm thinking, I haven't signed my contract. They're going to fire me. And I break down, hysterically crying in front of everybody. And after that, they held all of Beanie's dance rehearsals in private. And I went to the tap choreographer, the associate, and I said, can you help me? And so he stayed after with me 10 minutes every day after rehearsal, teaching me one step at a time. I would go home and practice that step for like hours. And at the end of 2 weeks, I learned the whole thing.
Yeah. Woo!
And then we get through previews, we get through tech, we get through all this stuff. And finally, they're giving me my put-in rehearsal, which is, they don't always pay for this. It's a special thing to get when you're like the lead. And they put you into the show with the regular cast, and you wear your costumes, and you stand on the stage, and you're under the lights. So my put-in rehearsal was the day of my first fanny performance.
Oh my gosh.
I went on a Friday night, and I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's Friday morning, I do my put-in. Half my costumes have not arrived, but I have something to wear. Could have been a naked fanny, that could have been fun.
Oh.
But I get through the put-in, and I try to rest a little. Oh, who could rest? And I try to eat a little, but it's not easy to eat. And then I go out there and I make my fanny debut on Broadway.
Woo! Woo!
People who need people are the luckiest people in the world, where children it goes beyond my wildest dreams.
Woo!
The energy from the audience is incredible. Twitter goes insane.
Yeah.
And suddenly I'm going on for Fanny a lot over the next few months. And there's New York Times articles and CBS specials and awards and all this attention. I'm being recognized on the subway, or people are sending gifts to the theater. People are telling me at the stage door they've flown in to see me do this show from California or Texas or the Philippines or Japan or Australia. And so many people are sharing their very, very private and deep feelings of grief and loss and hope. A lot of young actors are telling me that my story has given them the inspiration to keep going. And a lot of understudies are reaching out and saying, thank you for representing us well and giving us a good name.
Woo! Woo!
And I will never forget when I got a direct message, a DM from a teenage girl on Instagram. And she told me that her mother's favorite musical was Funny Girl. And she always sang People around the house when she was growing up. And they were gonna come see this revival together. And, you know, just a few months before the show opened, her mother very sadly passed away from cancer.
Oh.
And she came to the show anyway, and she said that hearing me sing that song, People, was the first moment of healing that she had felt since losing her mother. And I'm just appreciating in a deeper way than ever what theater can do, how it connects people, what it can give us, and how grateful I am to be a part of this particular story that has meant so much to so many.
Yeah.
A feeling deep in your soul says you were half